Alrighty, let's dive into this Week 18 slate. We've got a couple of games, a lot of games that don't matter, and a handful that do. And two that do are on Saturdays. We've got AFC North title on the line. First game that we have is Cleveland at Baltimore. The line is Baltimore minus 17.5. Biggest spread of the season comes in the last week of the season. Colin, who are you taking in this one? What do you like?
Good Lord. I do not like this spread. I'll tell you that. It's kind of a little bit of recency bias, but it's ultimately comes down to reality. It's DTR in Baltimore. They just played at home, put up 3 points against Miami's defense. Not a shot at Miami's defense, just a shot at Cleveland's offense. I mean, they were just not good. They have no running game. Ford left the game hurt. Yep. And you look at Baltimore winning 3 straight. If we did power rankings this week, they would have been back in my power rankings for sure. I'll take them at home minus the 17.5, and I don't love it at all. But I think they are playing for that spot. They just need to win. Do they run it up and win by more than 3-ish scores? Yeah. I don't know, but I'll take it. I'll be the sucker.
So I'm going to be a sucker with you then, because I love Baltimore to win this game big time. It's a division rival, so there's no qualm about just putting them through the dirt and just absolutely burying them. Like, good. Yep, see ya. DTR is not an NFL quarterback. Probably shouldn't be rostered, truthfully. I wouldn't probably have him on a roster. He looks bad, man. And it's like you said, they just lost by 17, this number, to Miami in Cleveland with Tyler Huntley playing quarterback. Lamar Jackson and Tyler Huntley, pretty similar, I would say, overall, talent-wise, skill set-wise.
Both Pro Bowlers.
Accolades.
Both Pro Bowlers, right. I mean, very similar, so I think the Ravens could do it by 17 also. I think the Ravens just pound them, and they play first, so the Ravens have to win this game. They cannot lose this game and then just hope that Pittsburgh loses, because then you're going to Pittsburgh in the playoffs as opposed to hosting them, and you want that home game. So I'm going Baltimore here. Addison.
Yeah, that's just a lot of points.
Baltimore's
one of the teams that whenever I pick against them, I lose. So I'm taking Baltimore minus the 17.5. This is not one of my 3 that I'm going to pick opposite, or 4, I guess, against Chiefs to try to get the victory. But I just, like, everything you've said is the truth for this game, in my opinion, as well. It's pretty much that the Ravens are going to dominate. The fact that they have something on the line, they're just going to go all out the whole way. It's what Harbaugh is going to have the Ravens do, which I think is a good mentality for football teams. Just go dominate until the job's finished and then enjoy the home game in the playoffs, and that's big. It's going to be the Ravens minus 17.5.
And their defense just pitched a true shutout.
True
shutout against a playoff team.
Against Houston. The defense is all of a sudden like, oh yeah, I guess we should try. Right?
Yeah, all of a sudden we put Kyle Hamilton in a true safety position. We got Ardarius Washington back there playing strong safety, and we have a football team back there.
Defense is back.
It's crazy. I don't know what happened. We even benched Trenton Simpson. We put him on second team and brought up Chris Board. All these changes that Zach Orr is making have immensely made our team better. And I can't be happier. We're getting hot at the right time. And right here, I mean, I really think that there's a true scenario where Lamar doesn't play the fourth quarter in this game.
Yeah, because it's a 30-point lead.
Exactly. And that's happened a few times. I think Josh Johnson might be in the fourth quarter right here. That being said, we're going to have to be up big for that to happen. Mm-hmm. And I think I've been picking against them all year, and I'm going to keep it going just because I could see that happening where we don't play Lamar for the fourth quarter, and all of a sudden we win by 16, 15, 14. And that's absolutely possible. I mean, we're not going to have Kyle Hamilton back there either, in the fourth quarter if that happens. We're not going to have Roquan back there. So I see that happening for sure. I would love Derrick Henry to not break the record, but he'd be the first person to get 2K twice.
Yeah, true. Could break the record, go for 300.
Yeah, could go for 300. I would love that. But then Lamar wouldn't win MVP. So
True.
Gotta think about that. If he doesn't play fourth quarter, he's getting it. But all that being said, I am going to take Cleveland plus 17.5. It's going to be a hard-nosed game. I know Cleveland's defense is at least going to play hard against us. They beat us the first time.
Yeah, they did.
With Jameis.
Beating Cleveland isn't for everybody.
Or the Raiders.
Or the Raiders.
Or who else?
I don't know. Or the playoffs. Probably not. We're sneaking in.
Playoff wins.
We're sneaking playoff wins.
Lamar might have 3 MVPs before he gets 3 playoff wins.
That's crazy, because also very likely. Alrighty, the other Saturday game is Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. That line is Cincinnati on the road minus 1.5 points. I'm going to start us here. I'm on Cincy in this spot. I think they are rolling, and a big emotional win over Denver last weekend was huge. Pittsburgh just seems to be falling apart, man. They can't cover. They can't score. George Pickens has been good when he plays, obviously, but if George Pickens is banged up at all and you have to rely on these little guys that they have a wide receiver that is their entire roster, they're just not successful. They're struggling. They can't run the ball very effectively. And yes, Cincinnati's defense stinks, but their offense, I mean, Joe Burrow, if he gets Cincinnati in the playoffs, he should win MVP. Just statistically, if he drags this bottom 3 defense to the playoffs because he's that good offensively, you have to consider him. You have to consider him because he leads in most statistics. So he's been awesome. I'm going to take Cincy to win this game by 2 points against a Pittsburgh team that is reeling. Addison.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's definitely reeling. This would be a big win for them, though, getting hot right before the playoffs against a division team that's rolling in the Bengals. But I'm on the Bengals. I love the offense, and I've been saying that they were going to sneak in. I said they were within the division, though, so that's some chump change. But making the playoffs would be monstrous for this Bengals team. Zach Taylor getting chopped instead. It's, hey, we got a life this last week of the season. All this crazy stuff needs to happen, and who knows, put themselves in a position where if it happens, they can get in. I think that's going to happen this Sunday. I think the Cincinnati offense continues to roll. Jamar Chase is just going to have a monster game. T. Higgins is going to have a monster game. They got to figure out a way to keep both.
They've got to.
You have to. I mean, with the production they have on the field, you do whatever it takes, I think, at this point. Because I get it, though, if you can't. But, man, if you can figure out a way to keep both T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, you have to do it. But give me Cincinnati minus 1.5. I think they roll.
Yeah, I think if you do keep both, you're going to keep that same defense, too.
No, that's true.
You know?
That's true.
Gosh, that's scary.
It might even get worse.
It might even get worse. They might lose Geno Stone.
Yeah.
Ooh, can't get crazy here.
Hendrickson, though, but most sacks in the
Yeah,
league.
yeah.
Most sacks in the league.
No, I actually agree with you, Nate. If they get to the playoffs, I think Joe Burrow does deserve that MVP. He's having, I would say, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson right now are having 3 of the craziest quarterback seasons we've seen in the past
Just all together.
5 years
You guys could spread this out a
at the
little bit?
same year. Like, any one of these guys would have won MVP last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Any of
100%.
these seasons wins MVP last year.
Yes, I think Lamar Jackson's season last year is like 4th
Yes.
Yeah.
in MVP rating this year, which
Agreed.
is absolutely insane.
Crazy.
But after the Bengals won last week against finally a playoff team, or at least a playoff hopeful, a winning record team, that they're getting their swagger back. I mean, a few weeks ago they were 1%
Yeah.
to make the playoffs. Now it's 40. 40%. Stat check me, because I don't know if that's true.
I'm going to stat check you because I don't think that's true at all.
I think it is.
I think they're like 5% because they need 2 things to happen.
Well, I mean, Jets look pretty good.
They need a 3-leg parlay to get in. All
They
right,
do need a 3-leg parlay.
and I'll bet on it.
I might bet on that as well.
Right? You might as well. I won't bet against Joe Burrow. I think he's super talented. That being said, I mean, last week, fun fact, that was their first overtime touchdown in Bengals history.
Oh, wow.
They have a
Yep.
9% chance
Okay.
of making the playoffs.
40%. You heard it here first.
Yeah, well, they have a 9% chance of making it to round 1 of the playoffs. They are a little ways behind Miami, who's at 44%, and the Broncos at 47%.
Maybe I read the Dolphins.
You probably read the Dolphins.
Good thing I told you to look it up.
44%. Yeah.
So they're at 44% to make the playoffs. The Bengals
Dolphins
are. The Bengals are.
Bengals.
And it's going to happen. I am going to take the Bengals here. Like you guys said, Pittsburgh is falling apart at the wrong time. I don't think T.J. Watt is back to what T.J. Watt should be. I think he came back way too early because he felt like he had to and carry the team on his back, which he does. But when you're playing on a hobbled ankle, like, is it going to get worse? Are you playing at the same level? Is it taking away from your backup who, while not as good as you, is more healthy?
Healthier. Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't think that was the right call right there. I think he should have been taking these 2 weeks out. I mean, they clinched like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they've had playoffs.
You
Like,
know?
he doesn't need to be playing. I know they want the division, but like, I'm sorry, if you
It slipped out of their hands regardless.
right, exactly. The Ravens got hot. There's only so much you can do, and like you are gonna play the Ravens no matter what in the first round, pretty much. It's almost a lock. Like you're going to Baltimore or Baltimore's coming to you. Just rest up and get ready for it because it's gonna be a slugfest. It's gonna be an NFC or an AFC North bloodbath as it always
It is.
And the Steelers have had the Ravens' number the last couple of years.
Yeah.
You know,
Ah.
last 5 years.
Ah.
What were they? 8-1.
I don't know. Part of me's thinking, I was like, do I want to lose this game and just go to Houston again? Like,
Yeah, you totally do.
do I just want to go to
Totally
Houston?
do.
But there's a solid chance that the Chargers win. I believe we play the Chargers. If we both win, we play the Chargers first round.
Well, because Miami would knock out Buffalo.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking Cincinnati right here, minus 1.5. I think they're just so fucking hot.
Yeah, they are. Quote Louis Zoolander, that damn Hansel. He's so hot right now. Looks a little bit like him, too. God.
This is one of the tougher games to pick this week, I think, because although Pittsburgh has been reeling and there's rumors of a cancer on their defense, and the last team you want to see with the cancer on your defense is those Cincinnati Bengals, because that offense is red hot.
Probably Deshaun Elliott's bitch ass.
I'm going to go on my own, and I'm going to take Pittsburgh in this game. I think this is just a classic Cincinnati letdown. They got to win to keep their hopes alive, and I think Pittsburgh somehow pulls it out against that treacherous defense for Cincinnati. So give me Pittsburgh at home. I'll ride solo.
I mean, and there's a better than not chance that Pittsburgh doesn't matter what happens to them in this game, and they still eliminate Cincy. Because if the Ravens win, it's over. You're locked in as the 6th seed. You're not moving any higher. You're not going any lower.
They played a few weeks ago, we remember, and Pittsburgh put up over 40 on
Yeah.
without George Pickens.
Yeah.
They did not have George Pickens that game.
That's true. I mean, that Cincinnati defense is abysmal. It is piss.
But now, yeah.
It's bad. All right, Carol. Now we're just going in order of the sheet. I printed these sheets out a long time ago, so they're not in order. So bear with us as maybe we talk about a 3:00 game at the noon slate. They're all over the place. Leave us alone, okay?
Let's save Minnesota and Detroit.
Well, yeah, I'll save that one for last. Yeah, that one's last. That one's last.
I'm so happy they did that.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
They had to.
Yeah, they had to. There were people like, oh, well, it could be if the Commanders lost. There were people arguing, oh, you got to put Seattle and Rams Sunday night. It's like nobody cares who wins that division. We want to know who gets the 1 seed in the NFC when it comes down to Detroit, Minnesota. That's what the people want. All right, let's talk about this game. Carolina at Atlanta. Atlanta not dead, hanging in there. They need a win, and they need a Tampa Bay loss. And if you look at the spreads, that appears unlikely. But Atlanta -7.5 as the home team here. You think Carolina wants to play spoiler? Maybe. Addison, you want to start?
Yeah, Carolina definitely wants to play spoiler. I mean, when you're talking about the NFL players, I mean, none of them are thinking about offseason. They're thinking about good tape on film and an opportunity to ruin guys that you see twice a year season.
Rival.
And I'm taking Carolina just based on their play as of late and the play of Atlanta with Penix. I mean, he's looked good, but nothing insane. Don't get me wrong, he's a rookie, and it's been 2 games. Their defense has played a little bit better, but tough loss against the Commanders. Yep. They came back late. The touchdown was awesome, to force overtime. That's good to see from Penix. But with the way Carolina and Bryce Young's playing, I mean, and he's really still only got 1 receiver in Thielen. Leggett has just regressed completely since the start of the season. So give me Carolina plus.
The way those Panthers are playing.
I mean, hey, they ran into a hot Bucks team, and no, I'm telling you, Bryce Young.
48.
Bryce Young. I mean, hey, they're like what? Since he's came back, I think they're 500. I mean, that's better than.
They're 2-2 because they're 4-12.
And they've won 2.
They beat the Cardinals.
They're better than they've been
Giants.
so they're 2-2. The
2-2.
way the Panthers have been playing is better than what's Atlanta in the last 4. It's tough.
Not bad, not good.
It's tough.
I'm on the Panthers with you.
Yeah, I say. So give me Carolina plus the 7.5. I think Bryce Young has been playing well enough. Leggett seriously sucks. He's dropped so many balls for Bryce. Because if Leggett catches some passes, they beat the Eagles as well in this stretch. So give me Carolina here plus 7.5. Please.
I mean, you look at the Panthers' little run there. They could have beaten the Eagles, could have beaten the Bucks. They lost by 3 in overtime. Could have beaten the Chiefs, lost by 3.
Well, Leggett sold on the
Yeah,
Eagles.
he did sell.
He sold
The
that.
NFL called.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dropped that pass. He's
That
like,
$3 million.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not going to be in the league much longer.
Yeah, seriously.
I gotta get my money now.
Worried about bringing raccoons.
Yeah.
It's like Paul Ford. I would not eat that.
Legett's voice is keeping him in the league for 5 more
It
years.
will keep it. Yeah.
He's still a rookie.
He's a locker room guy.
Look at Quentin Johnson.
Could be quick.
Yeah.
That's right. All right, Sage. thoughts?
No, I like Atlanta in this game. I'm going to take Atlanta -7.5. I think they played a playoff team very, very close just last week. Michael Penix showed some true heart. He had some bonehead throws as well. But even Kyle Pitts is starting to show up right now. You know?
clutch catch. He had his first signature moment. Took him 4 years.
Took him
He
4
finally
years.
Got it. He finally got it.
Took Michael Penix 3 games.
3 games to have a signature
Ooh.
moment. Yeah, true.
Impressive. I wish they went for 2 right there and just ended it.
Yeah, they
Gosh,
should've.
that's what you got to do right there.
Yeah, they
but
didn't for some
that's on
time.
Raheem Morris, first year coach. He's scaredy cat. But I still like Atlanta against them because Carolina's not playing Juba Hubbard. They only have one receiver. Who else had 1 receiver last week? Oh, it was Terry McLaurin because they only really have Terry McLaurin and Zach Ertz, right?
Yeah,
and he got strapped up by AJ Terrell.
In the fantasy playoffs. Thanks a lot, Terry.
Thank you, Terry.
Asshole.
Appreciate it. That won me against Nate.
1.5 points is just devastating.
Sad day. All that being said, I'm going to take Atlanta right here, -7.5. No Chuba Hubbard equals no points.
That's actually a really good point. Still taking Carolina. Dude, there's talks. They want Raheem Morris fired.
Yeah, I mentioned Atlanta when we were talking about coaches fired. I mentioned Atlanta as being a sneaky one. I have Carolina written down just because I think Atlanta chokes. They feel like a team that's going to choke it. Like, you had the division in your hands, and you've completely fallen flat on your face. The Bucs tried to give it to you. You beat the Bucs twice. That division was yours for the taking. And you just pissed down your leg, just like I did in the picks record. And you can't have it. You cannot have that.
You said, here you go, rookie, save us.
Yeah, Penix, help us, please, save us. And he can't. He's not a savior. He's not going to get it done. He played great against Commanders. That's awesome. Good job. And by great, I mean 220 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Okay, fantastic. Panthers are a feisty team. They're a frisky team. They've been, other than last week. It was just funny timing. You're like, Panthers playing better, and they lost by 34 on Sunday. They got smacked. Bucs are hot. Bucs are a team you don't want to see. I just don't think Atlanta can cover 7.5. They can win this game by 3, but I don't think they can cover 7.5 points right now, man. I just don't have any trust in them at all. Colin, what are your thoughts here?
My thoughts, you know how I love my Carolina Panthers. Big
guy.
Panthers guy. And usually when I'm with the Panthers, I tend to be a little bit better than when I'm against them. But I'm going to be against them here. I think you look at last week, Tampa Bay, a lot of weapons on an offensive side. Atlanta, a lot of weapons on an offensive side. And I don't think that's a team that's just going to roll over and just say, well, season's over. Let's just, pack it in. I think it's a lot of young guys there that still have to prove themselves. And so I like Atlanta to cover 7.5 at home.
Yeah, I like it. Washington at Dallas. Line is Washington minus 3.5. This game can affect playoff seeding for Washington, as right now they are sitting in the 6th seed, I believe it is. Yes, they're in the 6th seed right now. They have the same record as Green Bay. So if they lose and Green Bay wins, they fall to the 7th seed and they go to Philly. Whereas right now they're looking at LA thinking they could maybe walk into LA and beat the Rams. The Rams aren't that formidable, honestly. I think it's a game that they are definitely going to need. Colin, you will finish this stage. I'm going to have you start us off.
Yeah, like you said, you don't want to play against Philly, especially when you just played a close game against them, against their backup.
And you got blessed to win.
Yeah, you got absolutely blessed. You had 5 turnovers in that game. That's a scary game to walk into, especially into Philly.
Yes.
You know, if you play them in home field, you might have a shot, but no, that's too scary. You need this to keep your playoff hopes alive in the playoffs. Playing the Rams is a huge difference. That being said, they are playing Dallas. Cooper Rush, I think, he's just playing really, really good football right now. Like,
outside of last week. Outside of their 41-7 loss.
Forgot about that,
You
actually.
gotta stop doing that.
Last week didn't happen.
Last week doesn't count.
The days were so sporadic that I don't remember any of the games that well.
Like that Chiefs game, the Christmas games felt like a week prior.
I know. That's why I was thinking. I was like, who did the Ravens play last? Like the last game I remember is the Texans, and it was just 10 days ago.
Yeah, it was forever ago.
Which is wild. But no, I still think that Cooper Rush is decent, and Washington doesn't have a crazy defense, so they can put up some points on this game. I think it is divisional, so it's going to be closer than any of us really expect, especially with Washington. I mean, they might have that emotional letdown right after clinching their first playoff appearance in a while. I'm going to take Dallas right here, plus the 3.5, and hopefully Dallas blesses me, even without CeeDee Lamb.
I am going to take the Washington Commanders minus 3.5 here, and I'm going to take it leaning on, and I think Jaden Daniels has that killer mentality. The Commanders lost to the Cowboys earlier this season, and they didn't particularly play that great offensively. Turnovers galore, and Dallas's defense and special teams were able to have a heyday. I think they want to get a little bit of that revenge and have some swagger going into the playoffs on a 2-game win streak here, or maybe even longer, but give me Washington minus 3.5. I'll say this about Cliff Kingsbury in that offense. It's played better. It's played better. Don't get me wrong. I was harping on them, but they've answered some of the questions that were getting thrown their way. I think they're going to win this game handily. No CD. Tough for the Cowboys offense if Rico Dowdle can't get the ball going on the ground. I can see lackluster production from Dallas's offense. So give me Washington minus 3.5.
Yeah, Dallas did beat them earlier in the year, but then just looking back at it, like they had that basically 90-yard touchdown pass to McLaurin that would have sent it to overtime, except they missed the PAT. Like, so then you think, okay, well, if they go to overtime, maybe they win it in overtime. We don't know because it didn't happen because they did the onside kick and the Cowboys player housed it. So it was an 8-point Cowboy win there. I think, Dallas, what do they have to play for in this game other than pride? And Washington, I think that's in their head. Like, man, we don't want to go to Philly week 1. We do not want Philly. I mean, Commanders fans will never say that. They'll never say, we don't want the Eagles, we want the Rams, because they're not going to look that soft. But you got to think, I would much rather play the Rams, who are escaping the Arizona Cardinals at home, than the Philadelphia Eagles, who look unstoppable with their running game. I think Washington goes all out for this one to try and make sure that happens. So I'm going to take Washington minus the 3.5 points here. I hate the hook, and I hate going against home division dogs, this is a hard week for me because it's all division matchups. Every matchup is divisional, so every road favorite gives me a home division dog to take. But I'm going to take Washington in this spot. Colin?
Yeah, you know the brand.
Yeah.
I'm taking Washington here minus 3.5 as well. If you just ask Micah Parsons, just take away the scoreboard.
Yeah,
And last week, just a couple plays. Go a different way.
Just don't look at the points.
Just don't look at the scoreboard. It's completely irrelevant. Maybe one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life.
I just don't get it. What do you mean it's close? They're scoring touchdowns and you guys aren't.
Right.
How is that even if
Mike,
there is no scoreboard? They're all
It was
just
7 to
scoring
7.
on you guys.
It was
How is
7 to
that?
7, and it
That's
ended
bad.
41 to 7.
Also, if I see our number 5 corner lining up against Devontae Smith ever again, I'm going to fucking break a television. Whichever one I'm in front of. Sorry, Nate's garage.
We're watching the garage.
Because that was just devastating. But give me Washington. Dallas just sucks against mobile quarterbacks, and that's what Jane Daniels is. And like you said, I think it's the revenge factor. We want to beat these guys and not go to Philly. So give me Washington.
They should give you Philly in the championship game.
Yeah.
That's when we'll beat Philly.
That's when we'll beat Philly. That's right. All right. I don't know how you stop Philly right now. Detroit and them is going to be a wicked NFC Championship game. Minnesota, true. Minnesota's there. You're right. I got to stop disrespecting them. I got to stop disrespecting them. Sam Darnold's going to get $50 million.
Minnesota's better than Detroit.
I think they're going to keep him.
Sam Darnold's getting $50
They're going
million
to keep
this
him.
offseason.
JJ McCarthy's going to be.
There was an an NFC exec told, who did he tell? He told Coward said, forget about Sam Darnold in the 40s. You're not getting him in the 40s anymore. You're going to have to go to 5. You're going to have to go to 50.
They win 15 games, get the 1 seed.
Yeah. And he's playing MVP level. Yeah, we'll talk about that. That's going to be most of our time.
Even though he has those plays, the throws he's making are
He's so good.
crazy.
Yeah, he
It's
looks
crazy
elite.
that quarterbacks can develop over time.
I know,
He wouldn't
unbelievable.
have done this if he stayed in New York.
Let's give Zach Wilson another shot.
Yeah.
Let's.
The Jets should.
Yes.
Love that.
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's move on to the AFC West matchup here, and I've got a little monologue to go on here because I think I know what's going to happen, right? The line is Kansas City at Denver. Line's Denver minus 9.5. Absolutely not. I will never take a team coached by Andy Reid to lose by 10 points. I just won't do that. That seems silly. I don't care who the players are. He's just that good of a coach, and coaching matters in this league. If I'm Kansas City and I'm looking at the playoff picture, first of all, I don't want Denver to get in. Screw you guys.
Yeah.
You guys are my direct rival. I hate you. You're in our division. I don't want you to make the playoffs. People are like, oh, they want Denver in because Denver's an easier out. You're not going to get to face Denver because Denver will lose to Buffalo.
Yeah.
If I'm the Chiefs and the Bengals win, I'm thinking Bengals can beat the Bills. Bengals can absolutely beat the Bills in that 7-2 matchup. No question. They own them. Joe Burrow has owned the Bills in the playoffs. He's beaten them twice. And if I'm thinking ahead, like the only team to beat me this year is the Buffalo Bills. I've already beaten the Bengals. It was close, but I already beat the Bengals in Cincinnati. I would much rather the Bengals make the playoffs and knock out the Bills for me, take care of my problem. Not so fast.
I was really thinking that.
Not so fast. I'm just saying, like, if I'm Kansas City, I'm not just going to let Denver make the playoffs because I'm just guaranteeing myself a matchup with either the Ravens or the Bills.
Yeah.
And I don't think I want to do that. I would much rather maybe Cincinnati come in, make some noise. Obviously, they're forgetting about the Dolphins coming in and making some noise. That's okay. You forget about us. Everyone forget about us. We'll be there. We're like the thieves in the night. We're like the thieves in the night. They'll never see us coming. I'm going to take Kansas City plus 9.5, mainly because I just don't see Andy Reid rolling over. He's still going to call the game. Spagnuolo's still going to call that defense.
I see Nagy getting the call.
You think Nagy takes play calling duties for a week?
He gives away play calling.
All right, well,
Season's over.
all right.
Watch rolling.
I'd like to throw a caveat on this pick. If Nagy is calling plays in this game on Sunday, I'm taking Denver.
I can seriously see that.
That would be gross. But give me Kansas City plus 9.5 points. Colin.
Yeah, you said it all. It's just blasphemous to get him 9.5.
Crazy.
I understand Mahomes probably doesn't play. Kelsey probably doesn't play. Anybody else that
To
matters
me, this
doesn't
line
play.
is no starters at all.
But nothing's confirmed.
Yeah, but
Nothing's confirmed. Give me
Vegas
Kansas
knows.
City with the 9.5. I think it's just too many points, even with some backups.
nothing's confirmed.
They have
in the
enough
public.
structure and culture there to.
Yeah,
And
that's what I'm saying.
Those mob offices in Vegas, they know. I'm taking Kansas City, and it's nothing for you guys said. It's because of Carson Wentz. Give me Carson Wentz to have a monster game in this game and destroy the Broncos' hopes. And nothing to make me grin more than watching a rookie quarterback not make the playoffs. Because that'd be shitty if 2 quarterbacks did for my future, just for the Bears. But I want Kansas City here plus 9.5. I think Denver's going to win this Gary Kubiak till I collapse award. They're absolutely falling apart. Needed 1 win to guarantee themselves playoff. This is obviously their best chance at it. But, man, could you imagine if the backups could play spoiler? That's just pretty much the story here. Don't get me wrong, Denver's played damn good, and I don't see why they're not going to continue that, especially if the Chiefs really are playing nobody. But give me the Chiefs plus 9.5. Screw it. Carson Wentz, baby. I believe. And if Matt Nagy's calling plays, I can't wait to watch that.
Oh, God. Ugly. Gross.
I can't believe you guys are going to give me Denver minus 9.5 alone when they have something to play for.
They do have something to
When
play
Kansas
for.
City does not, and they're
True.
playing backups.
True.
I mean, that's insane. Granted, you can only rest so many players.
Right.
You have a roster of 53. I mean,
Yeah, Justin Watson will be out there.
Right, Justin Watson's still going to be out there. He's catching touchdowns against other
He
teams.
is, though. He is.
You know, hey, UPenn alum.
Yeah.
Yep, killing it. But I am going to take Denver right here, minus 9.5. I think they got something to prove right here. And last week they went toe-to-toe with Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. It's not the same defense, I'll give you that. But they're not going to be playing Nick Bolton out there.
Yeah, no.
They're not going to have
I don't know. They
Chris
might,
Jones
'cause he's
out there.
a free agent. Nick, did you know that? I didn't know that. Nick Bolton's a free agent this offseason.
Oh, they're going to pay him.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, if they can. They got a lot of people
Yeah.
to pay.
They pay everybody.
I know. I don't
As
know.
long as they take that third restructure.
Yeah, just take $20
Right.
million off my contract and give it to him.
That's dead ass.
Yeah,
Basically. I mean, he's making enough money on other stuff.
Yeah.
He's killing it. No, I am going to take Denver right here. I believe. You got to believe.
Yeah.
Believer.
Hey, that touchdown throw. To end
He's
that
looked
game.
elite
That
at
makes me
times.
believe.
Yeah, he's looked elite at
Made me
times.
bow hard.
Go hard.
It was a great throw, though. Pressure in the
It
face,
is,
I
it
think.
is.
That is crazy.
Addison on here on that Bocane.
Yeah, honest to God, dog.
No, I love all of it. I do love this team though. I think that they're like 1 or 2 years away from being a real powerhouse.
For real?
You know, they just need some weapons. That defense is looking phenomenal. I think Nick Benito should be in Defensive Player of the Year talks, and for some reason he's not. He's having very similar stats to T.J. Watt this year, and he's played less snaps by a lot.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely insane. One thing I just want to throw out here, because we're not going to talk about them next week, is that Pat Mahomes is going to be 25 days off when he
Yeah.
plays his next game.
Yeah.
Because he played on Christmas,
That's,
clinched
I'm
on Christmas.
surprised they're not going to play him at all in this game by that.
25 days
That's
of
a
rest.
lot of time to sit around
Yeah.
and not play football.
Maybe it is a quarter.
Maybe they play the first half or
Maybe.
something.
I
just
see nine and
don't
a half
know it.
for a half. Because what if the Chiefs get up 14-0 and you're talking 9.5? That could be, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't think the books know yet. I think they're assuming
Yeah,
because
true.
like they had, Dolphins were 6.5
True.
favorites until
Yeah.
like an hour before the game when they're like, oh shit, Tua's not playing. Let's go move it down a bunch and then
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It's like I just think maybe they are just assuming they're benching them all, but Reed won't say. He has not said anything.
Yeah. All right.
I'll say
taking
this
Denver.
real quick on your Joe Burrow touch that you were bringing up, that they want the Bengals to make the playoffs. I think they don't want the Bengals to make the playoffs. You talk about how the Bills are the only team to beat the Chiefs this season. Joe Burrow's the only man remaining in the NFL to have beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs.
Sure. It was a while ago. Though.
True, but still, I mean, that's the one person that can say, "Hey, I've done it" when the bright lights were brightest. I get that it would hurt. It would hurt the Bills are potentially. They got to play the Ravens regardless.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just don't know if they want Joe Burrow in, but who knows? I think we'll see if they play or not at the end of the day.
Yeah, we'll see what they
Yeah.
do. It'll be interesting. I will say one thing about the Broncos, and another reason why I'm like kind of down on them is their record against teams above 500. They have one win in all of their games against teams above 500, and it was against the Bucks in Week 3, who were 2-0 at the time, and then lost. They've lost to the Steelers. They lost to the Seahawks, who are meh. They lost to the Chargers both times. They've lost to the Chiefs. They've lost to the Ravens. They beat the Falcons, who were 6-5. So they just haven't beaten any good teams yet. You know what I mean? They've beaten up on the tomato can bad teams. They beat the Panthers. They beat the Raiders, which isn't for everybody. They beat the Colts. You know, they've beaten up on some bad teams, but Chiefs are not a bad team. Chiefs are a well-coached squad.
I think you said the same thing about the Bills, though. They're 2-3 against playoff teams.
That's true, and that is a concern. That should be a concern for the Bills. All right, we're obviously jumping that game that's next on our sheets, and we're going to Chicago at Green Bay.
We have to.
We do, buddy. We got to talk about them. The line is Green Bay minus 9.5 points. Colin, what are your thoughts here?
My thoughts are, I don't know if Jair Alexander will be playing, but if he is, I like Green Bay a lot more. I am still going to take them with the 9.5. Just talk about two different teams here. Green Bay, they are playing. If Washington loses, they can jump them and go to LA instead of going to Philly, which would be a great rematch from Week 1, the first game of the season.
Yeah, it would.
Not played in Brazil this time, though. But give me Green Bay 9.5. Their offense is rolling. Their defense, they just ran into Minnesota last week. Happens to everybody. But give me Green Bay minus 9.5.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just can't look at anything I've seen from the Bears these last 10 games and think, yeah, I like them to do this. I like them to get it done. Yeah, they played the Packers close a couple weeks ago. I think the Bears have checked out. They put up 3 points against the Seahawks last week, lost by 17 to the Lions, 18 to the Vikings. I could go on, but I will not. Green Bay has something to play for, man. I'm telling you, someone is going to have to go to Philly, and nobody wants it to be them. I don't want it to be. I wouldn't want it to be me, and I think that plays a factor here. And obviously, Green Bay doesn't want to just roll over against Chicago because it's the Bears, and they take a special pride in beating the Bears. They really do. They really do. Yeah, they live for this. And LaFleur's going to coach his ass off as he does, and they're going to play full starters. I like the Packers here.
It just cracks me up because whenever we lose to the Packers, my dad always brings up how when he was growing up and the Packers really sucked. And I'm like, man, I wish I knew anything like that.
Yeah, right. That was a good time.
Who'd the Packers play last week? Was it
Vikings.
Viking?
Yeah.
I think it was 2 weeks ago. They were blowing somebody out of the water. Yeah. They're blowing somebody out of the water, and their crowd starts chanting, "The Bears suck." And it's like
they hate
you're
the Bears.
talking shit about the Bears. You're not even playing them.
No, they're beating the Saints 34-0, and
Yeah.
they're talking about the Bears.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Bears live rent-free in Packers fans' heads,
And
right?
The Packers could never win another Super Bowl, and they're okay with it as long as they beat the Bears.
Yeah.
That's all they want.
Yeah,
is just to beat,
this is their
beat-
Super
beat
Bowl,
better
and
than
they win
the
2 Super Bowls a year. If
Yeah.
you're counting that,
Bears. Yeah.
they're leading. They beat Tom Brady a long time ago.
Long time ago. Long time.
But yeah, I got to go with Green Bay here as well. I mean, Chicago, and it has nothing to do with the talent on the weapons and stuff like that. The offensive line is just so atrocious. I mean, I see memes about like Caleb Williams if the screen pass was banned, and it's like him working at McDonald's, and it's like
What do you want them to do?
it's like yeah, but his offensive line can't hold the block for more than 3 seconds. I mean, I don't blame him almost at all. I mean, he's made some bonehead mistakes, but that's because he's got to put the cape
Yeah,
for Superman
I know.
on his back, and he's got to go out there and try to do the impossible, which is win with that offensive line and that coaching staff.
Yeah.
Granted, we know it's all going to change in the offseason, but the offseason's not here yet. That's why I got to go with Green Bay right here, -9.5. Can't say much else.
No. I mean, Bears scored 3 points against the Seahawks, and the Seahawks played like piss.
Terrible.
And the Bears could not capitalize. They scored a touchdown, gets taken back. Just can't capitalize. You think Green Bay is not going to just dominate? Josh Jacobs not going to have 152 touchdowns? My ass. Maybe not the 2 touchdowns. Will probably give them to the backups like they did last week. But, man, it's just disappointing as all get out from the Bears because it's going to be 11 straight L's from 4-2 to 4-13 to end the season. I said it. It can't be, though, because making the playoffs and being 1 win away, 3 straight. Don't get me wrong. It should be up there. But 4-2 to 4-13. I said it like 3 weeks in, and it was like overreaction that the Bears were going to lose out. It's like, nah, like that was just a reality that we are all living in. I mean, it's sad, but it's just like,
Hail Mary.
yeah,
Hail
it's
Mary.
doomer talk, but at the end of the day, it's also real talk for the Bears. Well, things change. We'll obviously talk about it in the future, but for this one, I'm taking the Bears. Give me the Bears +9.5. Last chance to do it this season.
True.
Caleb, for the love of God, please beat Green Bay. I'm begging you, man. Be 1-1. Nothing would make me grin more than if the Packers go to Philly and lose.
Philly gets banged.
And it's because we made them have to go to Philly. And again, just 1-1 against the Packers, man. Please, please, for the love of God, do not go like 0-6 against like everybody else. Please.
That you remind me of a great point real fast, backtracking slightly on the Kansas City-Denver talk. Kansas City, you guys owe us one for 2019 when we go to New England and beat them to secure the 1 seed for Kansas City, so that way the playoffs ran through them. You fuckers owe us one. All right, moving on.
They do, though.
You owe us one. Houston at Tennessee. I mean, Andy Reid in his post-game conference said, "Hail to the Dolphins." Yeah. Remember that, Andy. Remember that. Team needs you. Houston at Tennessee. Lines Tennessee -1.5. This is disgusting. I mean, it makes me think nobody on the Texans is playing.
Yeah, Davis Mills is probably starting.
Ugh, that's disgusting. Although the Titans are really, really bad. Colin, I want you to start us out here.
This is a torturous one to take because I took Jacksonville last week and I, reaped the rewards of that because Tennessee just is uninspiring. They are at home in this spot. Probably Rudolph again. Levis is probably fully out.
They said they're playing both quarterbacks this week.
You're gonna rotate.
It's a little trial run, little pride game.
When you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks.
Bingo. But Houston not playing really anybody. Davis Mills, Daddy Davis Mills, doesn't inspire me at all. Give me Tennessee -1.5.
That guy is a Bear legend.
Bear legend. True. I think I'm gonna ride with Colin on this one, unfortunately. Houston has nothing to play for. They're going to play as many backups as they can here because it doesn't matter. Titans don't want to win, though, man. The Titans have the number 2 or 3 pick in the draft right now. They're going QB. They have to go
They
QB.
might want their jobs though.
Yeah,
that's true.
but is there anybody on that team that I'm like, yeah, this guy's going to get a contract? Not really. This team kind of sucks. This team's really bad. This team's really bad.
They suck.
I'm going to take Houston. Give me the Houston. Better roster, better talent. Papa John's.
Yeah. Papa John's. I don't like Tennessee doing the split time thing. They should have just stuck it out with Levis, even if he fully sucks.
What do you need to evaluate
Because-
Mason Rudolph?
Because why are we now playing him? Because what happens if Levis comes out and throws 3 touchdowns and a half? Is there talk of, oh, he looked good.
He looked good in one
Now
game.
we could maybe keep him.
Right.
Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Back in a year.
Yeah, but I'm taking Houston here as well, Nate. I'm with you on that. Might kick us in the ass, but
Yeah.
Tennessee just really sucks.
Yeah, bad.
They're really done bad, and Houston might be playing some backups, but they're hungry guys that are going to have to potentially show that they're ready if someone goes down in the playoffs, because Houston's going through injury problem anyway. So give me some young guys on Houston's to make plays, so I'm on the Texans.
I don't know. Houston just didn't score any points with their starters.
true, though. That's true.
And now they're playing.
I know the Ravens and Titans are comparable talent-wise, but we got to think situation.
Not comparable talent-wise, but if their starters aren't scoring against NFL caliber defense, are your backups going to score against another NFL defense? I mean,
Are the Tennessee
Are the Titans in NFL defense? I don't know.
No, they are. But
they're better than their
I'll
offense.
say this.
Solid, yeah.
Houston's got a better QB in now, though.
True.
So
Oh, Davis Mills?
Davis Mills.
Yeah,
Davis Mills.
long neck Mills.
Long neck.
Yeah. That being said, I'm gonna go with Tennessee right here. I don't like the whole switching off quarterbacks and all that. I think that's silly because you're not gonna go with either one going forward.
Yeah.
Especially being an offensive-minded coach like Brian Callahan. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
Like, what is your plan for the future? Because one of these guys, I guess he's like, all right, you're auditioning to be the backup next year.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably what it is, but that sounds absolutely silly. Like, you have enough film, you see them in practice every single day. You don't know by now. It's the last week of the season, and you don't know. That says a lot more about you.
Yeah.
Alrighty, moving forward here, we've got Jacksonville at Indy. Line is Indianapolis minus 5.5. Don't know quarterback situation for Indy, who they're going to be playing. I don't like this game at all. Oh my God, Addison, who are you taking in this one?
I'm going to assume it's Rich playing, because if he's healthy and he's not playing, what the fuck's going on?
I think they are about to have everyone fired.
Very well possible. Yeah. Very well possible. I'm taking Jacksonville plus the 5.5. They've played just better since Mac Jones just came in at the end of the day.
They have.
They have.
That's crazy.
It's just, I don't know what it is, but I think Trevor Lawrence getting hurt like that really brought the guys together at the end of the day.
Really brought the team together.
No, seriously, I think it did, because it was just a rallying thing for their brother, and they've played immensely better since that. Just, at least on the field, it's insane, because they suck. But the Colts season completely fell apart against the Broncos, and then it did against the G-Men, allowing 45 to maybe the worst offense in football. Just tragic way for
playoffs on the line.
Shane Steichen and potentially Ballard and maybe even Rich's future there all to blow up. But at the end of the day, that's what has happened. Pat McAfee ripped him apart on his show and on X. I mean, rightfully so. Rightfully so. And at the end of the day, you can take a shot at the players, but it's also a shot at Jim Irsay. Rightfully so. And Jim, you got to get your ship right. And if that's handing off your reins to your daughter, you got to do what you got to do. But anyway, give me the Jags plus the 5.5. I think Colts just are not inspired for this game because writing's on the wall.
Yeah. No, I agree with you right there. Jacksonville is also playing kind of some inspired football recently with Mac Jones. Brian Thomas is having an absolutely amazing year. Might be number 1 receiver in the draft this year. I think him and Neighbors are right there. Marvin Harrison's been a little, not a bust, but he's a bummer. He's a bummer. Yeah. But I think I am going to go Jacksonville here. But since it's the last time we're going to talk about Indianapolis for a while, I am going to say that I think Indianapolis, aside from the Jim Irsay situation, is probably the best spot for a quarterback that's already in the league to go. You know, some free agent quarterback. Darnold, I think he would thrive here. They have great weapons. You know, they have Michael Pittman, they have Alec Pierce, they have Josh Downs, they have Jonathan Taylor. You know, like. They have a decent line. Like, it's not all bad at all. So I would look for them to go out and maybe get a free agent quarterback this year.
I would be so fucking... I would be
Colts, man.
dying as a Colt fan because that's just all they've done. But I don't think you're
Yeah.
wrong.
That is just
But
all they
it's
do.
just, that's all they do.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're wrong.
Yep, just
Yeah.
new.
And-
Let's go get another 36-year. Let's bring in Kirk Cousins now.
Right.
Fits the
See,
mold.
if it's that kind of guy, no.
Yeah,
But
Darnold, I like.
like
Darnold not bad. He's
Darnold,
27.
Purdy, maybe they get JJ McCarthy. You know,
yeah.
maybe they trade for him. I wouldn't be mad about that. You know, I would love that. But I think they won too many games to get a good quarterback in the draft.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So at that
Ballard's
point, if
great.
you want to start right now, because Shane Steichen's probably not going to be there, Ballard's probably not going to be there. You know, that guy's going to want to come in there and he's going to be like, Anthony Richardson, what have you done for me?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Absolutely nothing.
Make my
Ship
splash.
him off.
Yeah.
Make him a backup, something like that. So I like the chances of that happening in Indy this year.
Yeah.
Colin.
Well, it's at the point where integrity gets put on the line. Not for the Colts and Jags in this game, but for me in the picks. Because I'm up 3 games, and Addison and I already have 4 differences. So do I limit it to 4 and hope I just snag a minimum of 1 or 2? Or do I continue to go opposite and just hope I continue to just go about
Last
500
week,
in
I
there?
will say, going opposite, you crushed us last week.
I did, but that means I'm due for regression. Give me Indy at home minus the 5.5. I think this is just a spot where they're going to play their guys, and they just have to bounce back. Yes, Jacksonville's looked better with Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence, which is crazy to say. But I think Indy is just so many questions on the wall, and they got to answer a couple of them in this game.
Yeah. I'm realizing I didn't give my pick. I'm on Jacksonville plus 5.5. I think the Colts are just beaten down right now. You're broken. Pat McAfee's the ultimate hype man for that franchise, and he has been. And when he is calling out the team and the culture and the whole organization like that, canceling his franchise, his season tickets there, he's the ultimate Colts fan, and he's done with you. He's done. He's like,
Yeah.
I can't handle you guys right now.
There's that podcast clip that's going around of Zaire Franklin talking about how he wishes the Colts could get some easier competition
Against the
than
Giants,
stuff,
yeah.
Which is just, why do you want to play easy games?
Yep.
If you want to be the best, you're going to beat the best.
Yep.
2, and then he brings up potentially playing a bad 4-11 Giants team, and then we smack them by 40.
Yeah.
We allowed 45.
Yep,
to them.
45.
Shut your mouth. I get it's an old clip, but dude, that's why podcasts. There's going to be clauses. I saw it on X. It's true. No podcast clauses and contracts coming up because you just make yourself look like a fool. The team gets extra hate.
Yep.
It's all unnecessary. I'm not saying players shouldn't have a voice in media, but if you're not an elite team, Amon-Ra St. Brown's podcast is great. If the Lions were not winning and they were 9-8 like Nate's prediction, he would be getting ripped for doing the podcast.
Yeah, you would.
Yes.
Like, focus on football, man. Lock it in.
That's the truth.
Agreed. AFC West matchup here. Chargers at Raiders. Lions, Chargers minus 5.5. Chargers really nothing to play for. I want to say they're locked into the 6th seed. I don't think they can drop it all because they have the head-to-head. Yeah, I think they're stuck right in the 6th seed. I don't think they're moving anywhere. I am going to... Give me the Raiders at home. Give me the home division stinky dogs. They have won their last 2 games.
True.
And the Chargers, I don't think have anything to play for here at all. It is the Harbaugh. It is a Harbaugh.
You think Harbaugh wants to lose a football game?
No, he doesn't.
He's a freak.
I'm not. You're close to talking me out of it, but I'm not gonna allow it.
That's fine. I'll walk into the Chargers minus 5.5 like a moron by myself because it could be no Herbert eventually, but I could see Harbaugh and seriously them playing just because. But I don't know with the line, and I get it's tough to say the line indicates, but at the end of the day, I don't think they're minus 5.5 if backups are full playing. If there's no Joel, there's no Slater, no Dobbins completely. So give me the Chargers. Even if they take starters out, they get a big enough lead. The Raiders have played well enough to not get a top pick. Congrats. And that ends this week. So give me the Chargers minus 5.5.
Yeah, for the same reasons you said, I'm gonna roll with the Chargers here as well. I just think, yeah, Harbaugh doesn't want to lose a football game. He's gonna play hard the entire time. He believes in momentum, and he's gonna try to take it all the way into the playoffs. And luckily for him, he gets to play the Las Vegas Raiders in the last game of the season. Las Vegas has shown damn near nothing. Who they play last week?
The
Raiders.
Saints.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saints.
And-
Bad Saints team.
Yeah. Give me the Chargers right here.
I like it.
Yeah, that's a great point. You want to go in the playoffs with a win or a loss.
And I will say, I just read a quote from Jim Harbaugh where they're like, "Are you going to play your starters in this game?" And he said, you guys tell me what sounds better, 11 wins or 10 wins. So he's going to play his starters. Oh my God,
I love Harbaugh, man.
I'm not going to switch it up. I want to, but I'm not going to.
At Michigan, I love both Harbaughs. I love
Yeah,
both
Sage has
Harbaughs.
always been a big Harbaugh guy. Does not want him fired.
I think we should fire. But
Does not want him fired. Talking about the spread, Addison, you said it's indicative they're probably playing their starters. I mean, they were only 4.5 favorites in New England last week. Are you telling me New England's a point better at home than the Raiders are a point at home? I don't know.
I don't know.
Give me the Chargers as well. I think Harbaugh is just going to run those guys. The only person you maybe sit is, maybe Derwin James on defense, maybe Bosa Mack. maybe Herbert, maybe
Maybe
Dobbins.
But even so, I think Heineke's better than anything the Raiders have to offer.
And you still have your weapons. I mean, you're not going to sit Ladd McConkey. He's a rookie. He's got to earn that, although he's your best weapon. Glad we all were good on that.
Yes.
We talked about that on Sunday. We were all pretty right on Ladd McConkey being good.
Yep.
But give me the Chargers here.
Okay. Right alone on the Raiders. That's disgusting. Eh?
Sean Haskins touchdown Sunday, Bennett.
Okay, I like that bet. NFC West matchup: Seattle at LA. It is Seattle -3 is the current line. Neither of these teams really have anything to play for in this game other than pride, because I will say if Seattle wins this, they could say, well, we went 10-7 and we just didn't make the playoffs. Like, that happened. You know, it's unlucky, but it happens. Give me the. Who are they going to play? I don't think they play Stafford. I think this line tells me Stafford's not playing, Cub's not playing.
3 at home. Seattle is -3 on the road.
Yeah, no
You're
shot.
not seeing Puka. You're not
Yeah,
seeing
no
Cobb,
shot.
You're not seeing Kyron. You're not seeing Stafford.
No. Their defense will still be there, young, because it's all young guys on the defensive side of the ball. Give me Seattle.
Man, Seattle's pissed though.
They are bad.
The Bears are really bad, and they played terrible against the Bears. And there's not much hope. But if the Rams are playing nobody, I'm on Seattle with you as well. Because I'll say this though: 10-7 at the end of the day. Looking around the league from in years future, when we look back, we'll go, man, Seattle 10-7, just tough year. Fans will go, damn, we had the division in our hands and we let it slip, and we still went 10-7. We should have been in the damn playoffs. Give me Seattle though -3. Man, again, the future. It's what all I think about is with Seattle. What is your future plan for quarterback? Because it's just extending Geno, keeping Geno. That's not good enough, in my opinion. He's good. He's not good enough. Seattle -3 though.
Yeah, I don't think Seattle's showing that they have that killer instinct to win.
Yeah.
They're saying, we want to stay relevant, we want to sell tickets. You know, and that's what Geno does. Congrats.
does. Yep.
But that write me off gimmick is fading fast.
Oh, yeah.
You
They're
know?
writing back right now, man.
Right,
They're
everyone's writing back. Like, yeah, you were leading the NFL in receiving yards for quite a while,
Yeah.
but dude, it's because you're throwing the ball so many times, and for some reason they're just not handing it off to Kenneth Walker, and they can't block for him. Who is also not playing in this game, Kenneth Walker. He's out. So that all being said, I already marked the Rams, but the Rams have just been playing uninspired these last 2-3 weeks. They have been fighting to get points, and that was with their starters, and who knows what's happening there. Give me Seattle as well. You talked me into it.
I don't know how Seattle's already eliminated. Like, I'm sitting here looking at it. If they beat the Rams this weekend, they'll have the same record. They'll have split the head-to-heads.
Yep.
They'll have the exact same conference record and divisional record. So then it's got to come down to strength of victory is how they're eliminated. Because the Rams have a 444 strength of victory, and the Seahawks have a 389 strength of victory.
Yeah.
So that must be it.
But then if it change, how much does it change? I guess if Seattle wins, if they already crunched the numbers and it's
Yeah, I think so.
they
Yeah.
can't catch them, it's like, damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
They
wild.
both be 4-2 in division, same exact conference record, same record, split the head-to-head, and you just lose it because the teams you beat were worse than the teams the Rams beat.
Yeah.
All I have
That's
to say is
crazy.
to Seattle, don't lose to the G-men at home.
Yeah, you don't deserve to make the playoffs if you lose that.
Wasn't it Daniel Jones quarterback too?
Yes.
I think
Yes.
he was during that game.
Yes.
Don't lose to Daniel Jones at home and you're in the playoffs.
Yeah, Daniel Jones went 257 and 2 tuds against them. And Tyrone Tracy had a big week, 130 round.
Crazy. Who are the Rams playing at QE?
Oh, I don't even know who their backup is.
Is it Stetson?
I don't know because I know he went
thought
to
he walked
rehab
away.
and he's dealt with some off-field stuff.
Jimmy
but-
Garoppolo's on the roster.
Oh, he is.
Oh,
it is
okay,
Jimmy G.
okay. Jimmy G. Give me the Rams.
Yeah, okay.
Give me the
Give
Rams.
me the Rams and that smile.
Give me the Rams.
Colin,
I got nothing to play for.
yeah, right, might as well. Take some shots here. You gotta try to pass me. So you're not last.
may throw some
May as well throw some haymakers.
Haymakers. I'm going to take Seattle as well. I just think they have too much talent, and what are they going to rest anybody for? I don't think they are, other than probably Kenneth Walker, like you said. Never taking you in fantasy ever again, Kenneth Walker. You stink.
True.
You were half the downfall this season.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about the rest. But give me Seattle in this spot.
Okay. All right, AFC East matchup. Buffalo Bills traveling to New England to take on the Patriots. This one's... So Josh Allen will start this game, confirmed, because of his consecutive start streak.
Yeah.
They said that's the most important thing to him, is that he continues that streak. What a douche.
I love it, man.
I hate
No,
you.
I love that.
I get it. Like, Eli Manning did it. Eli Manning did it. Yeah, he wants to be like
Brett
Eli.
Favre, remember?
Yeah, he wants it.
I was like for 16 seasons straight.
Yeah. I respect
like
it.
that, you
Like,
want
like-
I think
Yeah,
they
I
said
know.
he's coming out, like, going to come out, hand it off, and then leave the game. Like, I think that's the plan.
Good.
Like, you're going to come out, hand it off, and go. But they have no incentive to play anybody in this game. They're locked into the 2 seed. New England right now, number 1 pick. New England does not want this game either. That's why Buffalo, I think, is favorited, because New England's like, no thank you. we don't want this win. We can't have this win.
I think we're also skipping a big point of this game, and that's who the Bills quarterback really will be.
Trubisky.
And I'm going to take Buffalo minus the 2.5 here. And I think, Nate, you said it. Not that New England wants the number 1 pick and players are not thinking about that, but it's just the vibe in the air, and it's the vibe that the Patriots have right now. And I think it's what's going to happen. And I am going to take Mitch Trubisky to have a decent game against a bad Patriots team. And I still think that the Bills' run game will at least be enough to keep them in. But seriously, give me number 11 to make some plays on Sunday with his legs. So give me Bills minus 2.5 in this one. And, yeah, Mitch is the difference.
And Mitch is going to be trying, man. He's trying to do a good job next year. He wants to stay a backup.
I'll stay in Buffalo. Him and Josh Allen are boys.
Yeah. They're cool. They're cool.
Yeah, they're boys.
No, I'm gonna roll with you right here. Buffalo minus 2.5. I think Trubisky. I mean, they just played 2 weeks ago and it was close, but even then, New England, it was really close. But New England just got stomped by the Chargers. What was it, 40-7?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the Chargers are not as great of a team as Buffalo. Granted, they know each other, but I think Trubisky's a different thing to get ready for. Yeah. Obviously, they bring different skill sets, even though I think Trubisky's just like a mini Josh Allen.
Really
but
it is, though. I mean, he's not wrong. He's not as good as him, but, like, he runs.
He
runs.
He's the Aldi version of Josh Allen.
He's the discount.
Yeah.
Great value.
Yeah, that's what the Bears, they were confused. They thought they were getting Josh Allen when they got him.
They got the great value.
Yeah, it happens. I get it. You guys got the great value of Lamar Jackson now.
Right, we do have a great value of Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. But New England right here, I think they like you said, they don't want to win this game, but the players and the coaches do because they need jobs, they need money, they want contracts, all that stuff. I think it's gonna be a lot closer than we think it's gonna be, but I still think Buffalo. It's a small spread. I'll take 2.5 right there.
Yeah. I know it's dumb because it's counterintuitive to me wanting the Bears to play Williams against the Packers, but if I'm the Patriots, I'm saying, sit down, Drake. You've shown too much. We don't want you potentially getting hurt in something that all games have been pretty much meaningless that you've played in, but this one's truly, truly meaningless. Next season, super bright for you, but they're not going to do that, though.
I will say they extended Ramondre Stevenson before this season, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And Ramondre Stevenson's now the backup running back.
Yeah.
Because he cannot hold on to the ball. They got him for like 4 years. Like
they locked him up.
Million.
Yeah, they locked him up pretty good because they didn't have anybody else to pay. Like, we got to spend money on someone.
Right.
We don't have anybody to pay. I'm gonna take this is a tough one, man. It's stupid that it's a tough one, but it's a tough one. It's only 2.5. If it was 3 or 3.5, I'm thinking, well, maybe New England holds it down a little bit here. But I am gonna ride with Buffalo. Just better team.
I need to pick some fucking home teams.
Better roster. I know it. Me too. A lot of road teams here. Yeah, I'm taking. Go ahead. Give me Buffalo. Colin.
Yeah, it's going to be another clean sweep for the 4 here. I'm going to take Buffalo as well. Addison, you said it. Trubisky, I completely didn't even think about that coming into this. And I do like him to do enough in this game. I talked about it in, what game was that? The Chargers game. Their weapons are a lot of young guys that aren't technically proven. I can see Amari Cooper not going to this game just because veteran.
Coleman and Shakir.
But those guys should be there. You think Kincaid probably is there as well. Probably no Cooks, I would say.
Probably not. Ray Davis, not bad.
Ray Davis, not bad. Runs hard. Ty Johnson runs hard. And if I'm New England, Addison, you mentioned it. Drake May kind of took a shot to the head last week, went to the locker room after going to the blue tent, ended up coming back in the game, finished the game. But if I'm New England, like you said, number 1 pick.
You don't want to win. You trot Jacoby Brissett out there.
Yeah. And that's what I would do
Take
if
it
I
out
were
of the
them.
coach's hands.
Yeah.
Because if he wants it, it's going to be May, and that's where Kraft comes down and says, hey,
No,
he ain't playing.
You're fired if you play May.
He ain't playing.
But even then, with May, they scored 7 last
right,
week.
yeah.
So
7.
give me Buffalo here.
Okay. Alrighty, AFC East matchup. Miami Dolphins traveling to the Jets to take on those Jets. Who, I mean, Rodgers checked himself out of the game last week. Not hurt or anything. Literally came up to the coach and said, hey, coach, it's 33-0. Probably get Tyrod in there, right? I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. I mean, that is...
scores.
Yeah, Tyrod scores, 2 touchdowns? Or at least 1 touchdown for him immediately. Goes right down the field and scores. It's like, I don't know, man.
I'm not going to be worried about Tyrod
Might have to be worried about Tyrod in this game, honestly. Addison, what are you doing here?
I'm taking another road team, and I've seriously picked every single road team so far, and I am tweaking about that.
I'm taking every road team.
I have. I mean, it's not that I want to. It's because I have. It's because I have.
Baltimore.
Well, okay, I guess we did do that one earlier. Okay, so I got one. But still,
That's
that's.
just 17 and a half.
I thought I just. Yeah. I know. So I'm off to a great start. But I'm taking Miami minus 1.5 here. I think they're going to do enough to put themselves in the position to make the playoffs. Now, will the Broncos lose? That's a different discussion. But Miami is going to, and I think that's heartbreaking as a Miami fan because this season has just had so many downs, and we're going to be a game away, some difference, a tiebreaker potentially, or a one game back. We had Tua out for 5 weeks. 6 weeks, yeah, with this last one. But give me Miami minus 1.5 here. I know the Jets want to play spoiler, but too bad. You're too broken right now, and I don't know if it's Rodgers, and if it is, it probably makes me think Miami even more. So give me Miami minus 1.5, though. I think they win this one.
Yeah, the Jets just suck.
They're really
God, they're
bad,
so
man.
bad. And,
Really
like,
bad.
it's so close because I know you guys are going to have Huntley in there most likely, and Waddle didn't even play last week. Is Waddle supposed to play?
So if he was done for the year, they would have put him on IR. They
Yeah.
haven't. So and he was trying to go last week. I got to imagine he's trying to go.
Okay. Well, that makes me feel a little better. I think I am going to go roll with Miami right here just because the Jets are just absolutely trash, and no one knows the answer as to why. I guess Miami's going to figure it out and win by 2. It might be 2-0. This game
Might
sucks.
be 2-0. Might be
Like,
2-0.
this game sucks.
Might
This
be
game
2-0.
sucks.
Might be 2-0. Very possible. Colin.
Thankfully, this game's at 3:30 for those
Yeah.
that have to work till 2 this weekend.
Yes.
Gives plenty of time to get here, get the Marino on.
Come on.
With all that said, I am taking the Jets in this game. Listen, the Jets are pissed. The Jets maybe are the worst team in the league. Seriously, they might be the worst team in the league.
They got a dog in that fight.
And you don't want to look at past games because they gave Miami a nice run for their money with Tua playing a few weeks, probably about a month ago in Miami.
300 yards from Rodgers.
First time.
300 yards from Rodgers. Devontae Adams going crazy.
Garrett Wilson went crazy.
Garrett Wilson going crazy.
Went crazy. We just stopped covering.
And it is crazy to say with Tyrod, if he does go, if Rodgers like, we have nothing to play for, I ain't going. Or if he checks himself out, that might give them a better chance.
Honest to God, might.
And what would be more fitting for a Miami Dolphins team than to look up at that scoreboard and see the Broncos, losing
lose.
and then somehow ultimately lose against the Jets? I think that would be just more Jet than Miami in that case, but I could see the Dolphins doing it. So give me that home division dog. Give me the Jets.
Yeah. I've seen this story play out before. This is the game where the Broncos lose. The Broncos are going to lose to the Chiefs by 6 points. And we're going to lose to the Jets by 1 point. And it's going to be something devastating. It's going to be like 21-20, 17-16. Something that makes me want to jump off the nearest bridge.
If Griggs are like, it's like a 60.
Yeah, to beat us. Yeah, that's just how it's gone this year. Like the Cardinals beating us on a 57-yarder. The Bills beating us on a 63-yard field goal from Tyler Bass. That would have been good from fucking 70. That was good from 70 plus. And he can't do that all year. He can't hit a 25-yard chip shot, but he can hit from 70 against us to beat us. That's just how the season's gone.
Tyler Bass is the most up and down kicker.
My God, he is. I mean, a 10-0 lead against the Colts, pissed away, lost 16-10. Yeah. Beating the Cardinals by 10 points, lost. Just every time we have something going, we shoot ourselves right in the foot. Jets suck. Jets are absolute piss. I mean, they are arguably worst team in the league right now, which is crazy.
Well, let me ask you, is it coaching?
It's absolutely coaching. The Jets' coaching is bad.
No.
Oh, for us?
For you guys.
I don't know what it is. I blame a lot of it on... It could be. It could be.
Just waiting for in 4 years, 5 years that it comes out he was too nice.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me if he's too buddy with Eric. Like, there's just no accountability sometimes, it seems like. You got some dogs in that locker room. Jordan Brooks, when he breaks him down, he's hyped up. I love him. Calais Campbell's getting in dudes' faces with his nostrils flaring. I'm like, oh my God, I'm intimidated. He's awesome. I'm hoping we do it for him because he deserves it. But I've been picking against Miami for a while. I'm going to continue to do that and just take the Jets here and hope I'm wrong once again. Addison's been big on every time you picked for Miami, it's gone well. So that gives me hope.
You know what Calais Campbell deserved? We tried to trade for him this year. You guys said no.
Yeah, you didn't offer us enough. Cheap bastards.
He's only going to play until the end of the year.
Yeah, I know. Should have offered us a third.
We already gave up a fifth for
Should have
Deontay
offered us a
Johnson.
first, yeah.
Here
Should
it comes.
have offered us a first. All right, next up, we've got the Giants at Philly. Now, this one is going to be interesting only for the Saquon record watch. It's the only thing anybody's really watching this game for because the Giants have screwed themselves out of the first overall pick, and Philly is locked into the 2 seed. I'm just going to take Philly and Tanner McKee to win this game. That's plain and simple. I don't trust anything on the Giants. Drew Lock had a generational game last week. He's never going to do it again. He's never going to do it again. Put that shit on. Yeah, give me the Eagles here. Just, again, keep that momentum rolling. Keep the train going into the playoffs. Colin?
Yeah, Philadelphia is a team where it's the classic. Even if they start their starters, they have enough depth. You can't sit everybody, and I think they just out-talent the Giants, even with them fully playing their guys. So give me Philly at home minus the 3. Seems like a joke.
Yeah, I'm going to take the home team finally in this one. Philly minus 3, and it's strictly because I've taken so many road teams. Give me Will Shipley to score a touchdown in this game if backups are truly coming in. So give me a Shipley touchdown. Exciting white. Give me Philly minus 3.
Yeah, like you said, can't sit everybody. I think the roster that Philly has, even with their depth, is better than the New York Giants starters. So give me Philly right here, minus 3. Won't spend too much time on it.
Drew Lock said the fans and everybody deserved that victory. Well, they only deserved the one.
Just one. You deserve one, and that's all you get.
You're one.
They got their one home win this year. Yeah, they just maybe cost themselves big time for that, too. Next up, we've got San Francisco at Arizona. Brock Purdy hurting last night's game out. I don't know if he'll play this weekend or not. Obviously, if I'm them, I don't know. Purdy, is he going to get paid? We'll see what happens with that.
I think if I'm Purdy, I want to play. So my last film
Last
on the
game
season
is good.
3 picks
Yeah.
to Kerry Joseph with one getting called back.
True. Back-to-back plays, he threw a pick to him. That's crazy. I am going to take San Francisco just to cover the 3.5 here. Maybe not win, but lose by 3. I like that on the road. Arizona's just kind of falling apart. Josh Dobbs looked good.
Won me a parlay.
Let's
Hit
go.
Juwan Jennings like 3 times. Shout out.
That's huge. Okay.
Second team reps.
Yeah.
Colin, seriously.
Got the report.
Yep. Give me San Francisco, Con.
San Francisco's in piss. I really love the Fred Warner, who I love, by the way. Love the pregame. They're going to leave with their asses hurting. And it's some like weird little cringy dance in the huddle, and then they fucking smoke you. I thought that was hilarious. Hate the Niners. With that being said, Arizona kind of been up and down this season with Arizona, but they've showed some fight. They could have won last week if they don't have a crazy interception off a deflected pass. Give me Arizona minus the 3.5.
One thing we haven't brought up yet, Arizona minus 3.5 is my pick. I'll get that off the chest right away. Could be Kyler Murray's last game in Arizona. Could be. There's talks there. Who knows what goes on with Gannon. I mean, hey, honestly, it could be a new home. I think that if you had to bet on it, it's more likely than not right at this moment that he is on a different team than Arizona. But I could also see them keep it in. But there's just big talks that it could be end of an era there in Arizona. So I'm going to take Arizona and Kyler Murray minus the 3.5. If it's really the last game, let's make a splash. I don't know if it is, but if it is, give me Arizona, though, minus 3.5 regardless.
Yeah, I legitimately just got a Twitter notification that said John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan will be returning to the 49ers. And I was like,
Of course they will.
yeah, no shit. Thank you. Like,
will probably come up tomorrow.
right. And that's how good they've been for years, you know? There's a reason why the past, 25 years, they have either not made the playoffs or made the NFC Championship.
That's actually insane.
There is no in-between for this team. But this team, even with Josh Dobbs' revenge game against the Arizona Cardinals, you know, I like that. And Kyler Murray, he's just not getting into his targets or to his weapons enough. Trey McBride finally scored that touchdown last week, but he's going to need a little more, in my opinion, against all the weapons that San Francisco has. Give me San Francisco right here, plus 3.5.
Yeah, Trey McBride scoring his first receiving touchdown of the season in Week 17. That's insanity.
Yeah.
It has to be a 1 yard.
Yeah, of course.
He fought for it.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
He deserved it.
It's like,
He's too
come
damn
on.
good for that, man. Next game up here. This one I'm going to be brief on. New Orleans at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay minus 13.5. That's the pick. It's Tampa Bay minus 13.5 here. They have everything to play for. This game will be at the same time as Atlanta, Carolina, so they don't know if they're in the playoffs or not. They need it. New Orleans is terrible.
Baker Mayfield, minus 13.5. Yeah, great season. Good story for Baker. Love that Tampa Bay. He's thrived there. I believe he will continue to thrive. Whatever Mike Evans needs, I don't know what it is, but he's getting it. That's gonna be minus 300. That's gonna be minus 300 because Baker's going to force feed him the ball. Yeah, honestly though, New Orleans, who's quarterback? Rattler, Hayner, both trash. So give me Tampa Bay minus 13.5 in a beatdown.
85 yards for Evans.
Yeah,
Oh, I hope he
he's
gets it.
getting that.
That's free.
This game itself is trash, if you ask me. But it reminds me, a few years ago, the Colts had to win to get in. They were playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, And Jacksonville Jaguars beat them in the last few minutes, and they fell apart. Will Tampa Bay fall apart? I don't know. I don't think so, though. You know, I'm just throwing that in there. Anything is possible on this last week. All of these look good, but hey, like sometimes you need to win to get in, and that last team is like, you know what, this is our Super Bowl, and they rally behind it. I don't think it's gonna happen here. I don't think so. That's why I'm taking Tampa Bay minus 13.5. It's possible. No, I agree with you, though. Bucky Irving has been a godsend for them.
Yeah.
He's been absolutely crushing it. He got to the 2-yard line twice, and they threw it to Mike Evans. Fuck you, Nate.
Not that it mattered.
Still beat him by 50.
Put up 150 points.
There we go. Yeah, Tampa Bay right here. I think they're dangerous in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's not a team you want to see round 1 because they can just put up points, man.
Yeah.
They can put up points.
Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, they were on this Panthers team
Yeah,
2
they
years
were.
ago.
Yeah, they were. Hey,
That's
shout
what I
out
was
to that
just gonna
draft
say.
class. Shout out that draft class looking a lot better now than it did then.
Yeah.
Mayfield at 1, Darnold at 3, Josh Allen,
Get Josh Rosen back in.
Josh Rosen, and then Lamar Jackson. I mean, that was a great first
Lamar
round
Jackson
QB.
is no Sam Darnold to Josh Rosen.
Well, no, but he's okay.
We know that.
Right. He's just not accurate enough.
Yeah.
Can't pass.
Yeah, all-time collapse. Carolina letting both those guys go.
Yeah.
When they did, give me Tampa here at home. Just what I've seen from New Orleans the last couple of weeks. Just no inspiration. Too many injuries. Give me Tampa.
Yep. I gotta take off my jacket for this one because this is the game of the year.
Yeah, it really is.
I love that it all comes down to the final game of the season.
You look like Dan Campbell.
Huh?
So you look like Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell, I'll take that. Dan Campbell's some fun. I'll bite kneecaps if I have to.
You could have gone to
Yeah.
that lookalike contest.
I should have. Damn, I'd have won. I'd have probably won.
Top 5.
All right, Minnesota at Detroit. Sunday Night Football, NFC North Championship game. 1 seed on the line. You want bye week? You better win this damn game.
Yeah.
You want to get the worst team remaining in the playoffs? You want every home game? You better win this damn game. This is for everything.
Yeah.
You lose this game, and you got to go play Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay. That's a scary thought.
That's wild.
That offense is, you win this game, and you get home field throughout the playoffs and the easiest potential route to the Super Bowl. You lose this game, and you got to go to Tampa Bay, and then you got to go to Philly.
Yeah.
And then you got to go back to either Minnesota or Detroit. I mean, both of these teams' seasons comes down to this football game. There's, 284 games a year, and it comes down to number 284. I freaking love it. I will watch. I'm old now, right? I'm asleep before Sunday Night Football's over most weeks. I will stay up for this game. I swear it. Book
If
it.
it's not a snooze bet.
As long as it's close. If it's a bad game, I'm turning it off and go to
Yeah.
bed. I mean, it's 9:30, folks. I got to go to bed. Detroit minus 2.5 as the home team. Minnesota's going to have a lot to figure out this offseason whether or not Sam Darnold's worth $50 million a year because that's what they're going to have to pay.
Yeah.
You're going to have to pay him $50 million a year to keep him there. And is J.J. McCarthy now a trade piece? What do you do there? They've got a lot of things to answer. They're going to have to get a new DC because Flores will probably get a head coaching opportunity somewhere.
Please not the Bears.
He's going to be the Bears head coach, and he's going to make Caleb Williams cry every single night because that's what he does to
Like, you
quarterbacks.
suck.
You're
I never
terrible.
wanted you.
I didn't even want you on my team. I want Arch Manning. He's going to be a dick about it because that's who he is, but he's a damn good defensive coach. I'm going to take the home Detroit Lions in this spot. I was very wrong on them coming into the season. Hand up. Very wrong. It's detailed. But I just think that in this game at home, how do you stop them, man? How do you stop them? I don't know how you stop them. I'm interested to find out.
With that defense.
That defense is nasty, but that Detroit defense can get got too. This is going to be a 40 to 35, 37 point game. It's going to be it better be. Please be electric. So I'm going to go with Detroit to win it and get that 1 seed and march their way onto the Super Bowl.
I'm going to go opposite of you and take Minnesota. I think Minnesota's better than Detroit. Obviously, health is impacting that a little bit on defense side for Detroit, and that really levels the playing field, but, man, Sam Darnold just played arguably the best defense in football against QBs in Green Bay. They turn over quarterbacks. They create pressure. They create sacks. They hold quarterbacks to nothing games. And what did he do? 3 touchdowns. He lit him up. I want to say it was over 300 yards. And he looked amazing. He's to the point where Brady is calling the game and he says, this is amazing quarterback play. And that's high praise. And I get Brady's loving up everybody because he's the owner. That's still amazing praise from Tom Brady. And he's not wrong. Sam Darnold's playing at a level that nobody thought he'd ever get to. The season is a storybook. I mean, Vikings fans could not believe it, and they're just riding this high. I think it's going to continue. I think they're going to get the 1 seed. It's going to have a 14-win team be the 2 seed or be a wild card. Yeah. And I'll say this: I know Detroit really doesn't want to play the Bucs. They're one of the potential 3 teams that would have beat them
Yeah.
on the season. But give me Minnesota here. I think their defense is the difference maker in this one. I think they're going to do enough to frenzy Goff, maybe turn him over once, and that could be the difference maker in this one because both offenses normally score touchdowns. And if it's one possession, that's the difference. I think Minnesota's defense could make it. So give me the better team, in my opinion, right now, plus the points, Minnesota Vikings.
This game is pulling at my heartstrings.
Yeah, it is.
Because I've loved Detroit for 3 years now. You know, they've been my team. But Minnesota, Sam Darnold is having the best Vikings quarterback season of all time, sans Dante Culpepper when he ran into exactly. But aside from that, Sam Darnold's having the best season. Better than any Kirk Cousins seasons. Kirk had the same weapons.
Yeah.
He's having a better season than Kirk.
Yeah, he had
all
good
that. And especially with that defense, Detroit's hurt. But when I'm thinking about that crowd, that electricity, Detroit has never played for that number 1 seed.
No.
They're playing this game in Detroit. To them, playoffs start right now.
Yeah, this is a playoff.
You know, this is a playoff game for them. They're not getting eliminated, but this is a playoff game for them, you know? And when I think about the playoffs, do I want to walk into Detroit where it's going to be bumping crazy loud, or do I want to walk into Minnesota and Minneapolis where it's also going to be crazy loud? Skull is going to be going crazy.
That's one of the best starts to a football.
Yeah, that is so cool.
Whoever wins this game is going to the NFC Championship
Yes.
game.
Yeah.
Mark my words.
100%.
I'm going to go with Minnesota. I'm going to go with Minnesota right here.
Love
Gosh,
it.
that's crazy.
It's
I
a
just
tough
think they're
pick.
way more balanced. They got a lot more talent on defense right
Yep.
now.
God, Jahmyr Gibbs is so good.
I know Gibbs is so
Gibbs
good,
is
but
so
dude,
good.
Minnesota's defense is great. The only thing they're bad against is the pass, and that's because they bring so much heat, but then they get home to counteract that, and then I don't know, man.
I'm excited to see what Ben Johnson pulls out.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
gotta be something crazy.
that 3rd and 14 touchdown to JMO, hook and ladder. The Bears were running a draw or something, and he's thinking touchdown plays on 3rd and 14. That's different mindset. The Lions are different, but man,
I think he's just aggressive all
Yeah.
the way through, and he said no, like there is no giving up. We
Yeah.
never do that.
Yep.
The Lions, they're looking for prey. you
Yeah,
know?
straight
They're
up.
Looking for the throat.
straight
all the
up,
time.
yeah. But yeah, no, I think Minnesota, they're just playing so damn good.
They are.
Yeah, they saved the best game for last.
Yeah.
They did. They did
And
really
it was
well.
it was a
with us.
bloodbath the first time they played. I think it was a 2-point win for
Detroit. Walk-off field goal, yeah.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
31-29 back in October.
Yeah.
Kind of when Sam Darnold was going through his pumpkin phase.
Yeah.
Because then they lost the next week to the Rams, too. They lost
haven't
back-to-back
lost
games.
Yeah.
They have not lost since. So he picked it back up, man. And you look at the numbers for Sam Darnold. If you had told me before the year he was going to throw for 4,200 yards, 35 touchdowns, I'd have been like, you're fucking crazy. I literally said their first game, I'm like, yeah, who they play week 1? They played someone week 1, the Giants. And I said, is Sam Darnold better than Daniel Jones? I don't know. I said that.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah, I
look
think a lot
at
of
that.
people
I
are
mean,
saying that.
now Daniel Jones is his backup.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't convinced that Darnold could do something like this. I don't think anybody thought that he could do something like this. And here
I
they
know
are.
it's dumb, man. Vikings fans, it's a blessing that J.J. McCarthy tore his MCL.
Yeah, it is huge.
Yeah.
Because he's going to start.
If there was talks, even at the
Yep.
end of the day, like if Darnold, if they lost those 2 games in a
Yep.
row, if it was him starting, it's like you switch, and it's like
No.
didn't have to deal with that literally at all this whole season.
No.
Yeah, no,
Huge.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
If you told someone 2 years ago that this is where the Vikings would be,
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Sam
Well,
Darnold?
Yeah.
With Sam Darnold.
with Sam Darnold,
Yeah.
like it makes it like it should be probably a segment later on. But what quarterbacks are hiding in the wings right now
I know.
that
Can do this.
have this potential that just got screwed?
Uh-huh.
You know, and you got to look at the teams that draft perennial like quarterbacks every 4 or 3 years. So everyone the Bears draft and all that.
Browns,
Yeah,
Jets.
Like it's Fields really
Titans.
good and just got outplayed by a little better than Russell Wilson. Like
Yeah.
are these guys like studs that just never got the chance?
Colin.
Best game of the year,
Yep.
obviously Sunday Night Football. Last game of the year,
Love it.
and Addis and I have 6 differences. I have a 3-game lead, and so I'm still going to stick with my integrity, and I am going to take the Detroit Lions at home here.
Yeah.
If we did power rankings this week, Minnesota's my number 1 team. They have been for weeks on end because I do think they're the best team in football right now. You look at both phases, you look at coaching, but Detroit's got good phases on offense at least, a little banged
And
up
they're
on
home.
defense. At home, that crowd's going to be riled up.
It's going to be rockets.
Coaching wise, I think they're very similar. Give me those Lions at home, man. Must win because you talked about it.
Must
Loser plays next week on the road against Tampa,
In Tampa, who beat Detroit at home.
who
in
beat Detroit. Right.
And so this game has everything. Give me the home team. Less than a field goal. Come on.
Yeah, I like it. That game is going to be electric.
And Addison has to go 5-2 in our 7 differences. Just a tie.
Just a tie. Right. Yeah. Hey, never know. That's
we'll
going to
see.
be a big week for picks here. And that's all the games. That's it. We've officially picked 280-something games all season, or however many it's at, man. And it comes down to the last week. It's going to be electric. Cannot wait for Sunday and Saturday football games. I'm sad there are no more Thursday night games. It's always sad when it's like, all right, Thursday night football's done, Monday night football's done until the playoff one. But it's like, alrighty, we're here. It's playoffs time, folks. Colin, locks have a chance to go. You're 27-21 on the year. Do you got any locks?
Slowed down.
Slowed. Well, we had a 1-2 week and then an 0-3 week.
First 0-3 week. And
Yeah.
week 16, I'll take it.
Right, that's not bad.
No locks last week with no show for Christmas.
That's right. We took Christmas off. What do we got for locks this? Oh, I'm sorry. No, mortal locks first.
Yeah.
Mortal locks
So that's
first.
important
Excuse
this
me.
week.
That is important this week. Not for me, but I'm going to give one anyways. I am going to take Cincinnati, man. Cincinnati has been awesome recently, and I think they get the outright win. I think that the Steelers are kind of in free fall, and I'm going to get Cincinnati, minus a couple of points, minus 1.5 points? Yes, please. Easy money. Addison.
I'll take one of the few teams that it sounds like they're guaranteed playing starters to win. Give me the Chargers minus 5.5 against a piss Raiders team to cover. Harbaugh, 11 wins does sound better than 10.
Sounds a lot better than 10. Sage.
Just because this is my last chance to do it, I am gonna pick the Cincinnati Bengals against the Pittsburgh Steelers because I don't think the Bengals are actually gonna make the playoffs.
No.
But they got a 40% chance, but that 40 is getting small.
40%.
Oh, probably realistically they do though.
I'm gonna have to start fact checking everything Sage says. I have questions.
40% chance. I'm actually going to mortal lock one of Addison and I's differences here and just put balls on tape for both because we're tied in moral record. I got a 3-game
So I can tie
in the
you.
picks. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm seeing 15% right here.
That's what I said. 14%. I think that's what I had. 14%.
I'm going to take the Bears' father, the Bears owner,
I almost did.
and I'm going to take the Packers minus 9.5 as my mortal for week 18.
I almost picked the Bears for my pick and then picked the Packers for my mortal.
Respect. Addison, last chance for an outrageous take here. What do you got for us?
I got a real good one.
Oh, baby.
And it's going to be about 5 seconds, so get ready.
Okay, hit me.
The Bears are good next year. Woo! That is it. Competent. They're a competent football team. No coaching blunders where you go, why didn't they use a timeout? And here's another one. Give me a coach successfully winning a challenge for the Bears next year. Because also has not happened in a hot minute. But yeah, those are my predictions. The Bears actually have some competence on the coaching staff next season. And that is the outrageousness of that whole
That is
take.
outrageous.
I mean, it truly is.
I mean, my God.
I
Just
live
the
in.
caveat, Ben Johnson's head coach.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. If he's not, I'm bridging. But
No, it's going to be great when it's Cliff
Flores,
Kingsbury.
I'm actually gonna be pissed.
Yeah, that'd be bad. That'd be a bad hiring.
That's a Bears.
Them and Kevin Warren are boys.
It's going to be him, isn't it?
It's got Vikings connections.
It's
Kevin
gonna be
Warren has been
him.
here for 15 years, and then, oh my god.
It's going to be Flores.
Oh my god.
Yes!
Yeah, I'm not even trolling. I think Brian Poles was teammates with Flores at Boston College and college too.
Oh, yeah, it's Flores, bud. Because they said it's up to Poles. Kevin Warren said it's Poles'
Yeah,
choice.
I know. He's picking Ben Johnson.
He's picking Brian Flores. This is going to be Brian Flores, and I'm going to be
He's
so
also
excited.
He better fucking hire us.
It's
Have
gonna
to.
be whoever gets knocked out of the playoffs first.
Yeah.
and then
True.
Wait a week.
Yeah, he's going to be impatient. Want to bring him in. Alrighty.
We'll know if the Bears don't hire anybody by the championship game. Or but really though, if the Lions are in the Super Bowl and the Bears are not hiring anybody, they're hiring Ben Johnson.
Yeah, you can hire him before, though, because the Dolphins hired Brian Flores before the Patriots won the Super Bowl.
Oh really?
He was locked in to be Dolphins' next head coach. Yeah.
It's just if they take those interviews. during-
Right. If they're willing to, a lot of them aren't willing
Johnson
to.
might not.
Yeah.
He's up late with his Chinese takeout studying tape.
That's right. Watching that film, baby. That's all we've got for you guys. That's it. That's the NFL regular season. Oh, and the locks. I'm all over the place today, man.
No, you're all right.
Colin.
We're just going to give 2 because that gives us an even 50 on the year,
Okay.
right? 27 to 21.
No, you're 27. Oh, you're 27 and 21. That's right. Yeah.
So two gives us
to give us
50.
even 50.
We're going to start Moneyline Parlay because that's the one I have written down. Give me Washington at Dallas and give me the Chargers at Vegas. Plus 100 on that.
Easy.
And then let's just root for some fun here.
Yeah. Come on.
Give me the outrageous over 57.5 in the Vikings-Lions game.
Oh.
I love that.
Just give us a shootout.
That would be electric.
That's wild.
Please let that happen.
7.5.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that means the implied score is 30 to 27.5 because Lions are 2.5 point favorites. That's the implied score. So it's gonna end up somewhere around there, man. I hope that they're right. God, let the books be right, please and thank you. Alrighty, that is genuinely all we have for you guys on the regular season. We'll be back next week in playoff form. And going forward, keep an eye out for mock drafts. Mock draft season is upon most of us. And there's a lot of good players to be had, a lot of good offensive linemen to be had. So keep your eyes on the channel. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that big red subscribe button. And we will see you guys next week.
Peace.